Hi. It's been a long journey, um, and I know I've been gone for some time, and I've had um, nostalgia. I miss you all. I hope you all miss me too, and that's the energy of the Six of Cups. Eight, missing a time, and I had a lot of things that I went through in the last 2 years that didn't allow me the space to finish off the Tarot Cup series here, but it's funny to come back to the Six of Cups, right? And I'm old school, so I have it all written down, so bear with me here. Okay, so Six of Cups, you might be connecting to past connections, childhood memories could be coming up, or old relationships. Could be, joy, like nostalgic joy, positive or negative nostalgia. The other aspects that are, general, it's like a renewal could be coming up, or a new cycle. Harmonious networking, or networks, current or past. Positive influences around you, or positive influences from the past that you're remembering. There's also this aspect of like favors being earned and returned, blessings being passed on. So the blessings being passed on is that like ready to give and receive without kind of an expectation. And also, if there's any kind of situation where you're willing to give someone the benefit of the doubt, or move on from maybe some challenges you could have had with each other. It also kind of invites you to get in touch with your inner child, experiences that maybe you've had when you were a child, and you're an adult now, so you allow yourself the freedom to be innocent like a child, or childlike in nature, and be around others as well, whether it's people from the past, or people in the present. So within the revisiting aspect, there is reconnecting maybe from people where you grew up, an old home you grew up, reconnecting with old childhood friends, high school reunions, college reunions, family reunions, reconnecting with an old friend or friends or buddies that you had in the past, reconnecting with a childhood or teen sweetheart, or a past love interest or lover, or them turning up out of nowhere, coming back again. Or these old connections, which might bring a sense of joy and happiness when you could also just be reminiscing of these times when you had joy and happiness with people, or a group, or a person. Reminiscing over all the fun times you had together when you're meeting and reconnecting with these people. Taking time, or also occasion to explore if you still have things in common, if it's worth it to still continue or pursue that relationship or connection now. And an increased level of harmony and cooperation, maybe in existing situations, or you're like excited to see the people that you have in your life currently. Then there's the memories, past memories, reflecting on the happiness and enjoyment from a past time, um, and but also enjoying it, where rather than seeing it that this past thing has vanished, that that this thing could be recreated in a sense, right? A renewal of that in the future, which will come to pass presently, right? Like, instead of like, oh, okay, well, I remember this was great, and maybe I can make this reality great too. So you could maybe confronted with a moment of nostalgia from the past, but you're able to strengthen it for something current, and maybe current connections. Strengthening your resolve and your warm heart with old connections, maybe old connections renewing in general in a positive way. Forgotten fondness rekindled. They're like, oh, I forgot to really, like, that was good. Why did I let that situation go? You might reconnect and remember, and then the relationship might be stronger. Or you remember moments before your ambitions, made it, difficult to appreciate what you have, or you had all these goals, you're adulting, you're not paying attention to, these things you might appreciate more, even just like simple things. So also maybe if you're like in a group setting, whether it's past or present connections, you might say, okay, well, doing childlike things, in like, enjoyment of having fun in the moment, like maybe playing games that you used to play when you were a kid, or drawing, coloring books, dancing like no one's watching, dancing with people like you don't care, letting your hair down, living life playfully. You feel like children around each other, and give yourself that permission to be playful and spontaneous and creative with your connections, and connecting more maybe with your authentic self. You play a role in this group, that you're something different. So, but then you've also connected in some similar hobbies or things that, everybody's authentic self may stand out in that moment, and it's fun. Connecting more with your intuition or your intuitive senses. Intuitive senses connecting to people. Having fun with children, whether it's teaching them, or your own children, or your children's friends come over and you're all having a good time. It's possible in a reading that this could, let's say it comes up with the Empress or like a fertility card, it could suggest a pregnancy, or a birth, or the current child will have a sibling soon, because there's 2 children on the card. Or it might mean that the person is pregnant and they know, and they're coming for a reading, and it could be reading that they might be having twins. So you kind of have to look at what you're reading with the 6 of Cups, and the current person's situation, or in the near or immediate future, there could be a sign that there'll be, siblings playing together nicely. When you spend more time with children, or people having a good time playing together, learning from each other, like having that magical moment, right? The magical place that the children go, right? Children set good examples because they stay present and curious and open-minded, and seeing the world from that magical place, right? You may use visual imagination, having fun. Your heart's open to a myriad of pleasures, because you're not limited to what you've limited yourself to as an adult. Also, if you're hanging around children, they can often teach us something about that, right? Which will help us serve to keep that childlike quality when it's proper moment as well too. Children also could be great advisors. They give you some sage like words that you might get that you wouldn't have remembered, right? Or you wouldn't have connected to the way you could have, like if you were still keeping the innocent nature to you. So the description is it's a boy leaning down, passing a cup filled with flowers to a little girl, and the girl is looking up at the boy. It's like revisiting that joy, childhood love, or harmony, or cooperation, right? Sibling or friend energy, or romantic. He shines through such a gentle act. Here's some flowers, my friend or loved one. The children can also represent these childhood memories, or living in the past and having fun, right? There's an older gentleman in the back distance, or an elder, so symbolism to kind of let go of the worry of the adult world, the issues of the adult world, enjoying that moment, the youthful feeling, the innocence, being free again. And the children also appear to be standing in a courtyard of a large home or abode, and symbolizing comfort, safety, security. The foreground also has 4 or more cups standing filled with flowers. The 5th is on a pedestal behind the boy. So it'd be like putting old situations or current situations up on a pedestal. You see them in a high frequency. Taking also one back, reminiscing to happy moments like these from the past. The way the setting is, the way you felt when you were a child, the way you felt when you were a teen, the way you felt when you were a young adult with whomever, revisiting this past, or even like wanting to have that same revisiting with the current people. So revisiting simply these memories of a time period or traveling back to childhood, kind of denoted by the way the description of the card appears, right? On the reverse, we could be clinging to the past, losing touch with the present. Could be reflections that the negative nostalgia would be wishing for how things were or used to be and not living in the present moment. Missing out on opportunities due to such, by like missing out of something right in front of you, but you're so stuck in the past that you're not able to get past these things in your mind, overthinking, and you're not able to see what's right there. And maybe you could create new memories, new things to be nostalgic over. You kind of got to get out of that, right? Kind of help yourself come back out. So it's okay to indulge a little bit in reminiscing about the past, as long as you understand that the true and lasting change can only happen in the present moment, right? You can't just be stuck in an old situation if it's not going to be able to be recreated. But it can be recreated is basically what I'm saying. You must make peace with whatever relationship you had in the past. Sometimes there's no recapturing that old phase in your life, or like, well, now I'm not a kid, so I'm not going to put energy into that. Some people, they remain innocent and childlike their whole lives. They almost seem younger in their age for being able to kind of continue to pursue the joys, right? That's childlike. So there's no recapturing the playful youth, but you might find ways to access that sense of joy, right? You may not be able to make it exactly like the past. Remember that this is the element of water, and if you were kind of questioning if this was a yes answer, this would be a yes answer. When you're revisiting past memories, you may want to look at it in vibrancy and see how you can renew it into some future possibility with what could come to pass in the present. Some memories of the past might yield sorrow and may need to be healed, and that's why 6 of Cups is coming up upside down. Maybe you don't want to relive those past situations because of hanging out with some people, whether they're past or family or whatever. Maybe that'll bring up bad things and you don't want to go to those reunions, or you don't want to go to whatever holiday or whatever it is. Well, maybe this is telling you that you don't need to be haunted by the past. You don't need to go back to something if it wasn't good or it wasn't healthy for you. So, this could also be long buried regrets that suddenly just resurface. They're haunting you. Or you could be obsessing or clinging on to something from the past, where one is just unable to live in the present moment. I mean, that's really ultimately the issue with the reverse, is you get stuck, right? You want to get stuck when you could kind of create something that's more healthy. So it may also be a sign that one has lost touch with their inner child and life has become boring, repetitive, and stale. You're being closed off from the new opportunities and the gifts of the universe, simply because you are taking on too much of the responsibilities and heaviness that comes with being an adult. Well, opening oneself to a curious mind and to have fun as though you were a child again. But you might be saying, oh, well, I just don't have time. Well, make time. There's always time for play. Have some time out. Jump in some puddles. Build a sandcastle. Draw a picture. sing a song. Dance around, enjoy life. You know, if you're taking these long walks in your mind on memory lane, perhaps, you know, when you're really looking at it, is it something that you really is right? Like perhaps you could be thinking of an ex, or you start seeing each other again, you know, but you might also like be trying to keep it quiet because you don't know how maybe people are going to react that you're seeing this person again. And then, you know, maybe some people have a negative experience with this person, so you don't want to like uncover it. So does that mean that, you know, is this good that you're getting back with this person? If that has that person even redeemed themselves, where eventually you'll be okay with telling people in your environment, like, hey, I'm back with this person. You know, so that could also be like, why are you missing this person and bringing them back, right? If something like this is coming up, you know, and it's upside down, Six of Cups, what else is coming up in the reading? Should you be rekindling it with this person when there's a lot of people that are like, I don't know if I like that person, and you're even afraid to mention that you're still talking to them? That could be coming up in the Six of Cups upside down. You're revisiting these old memories and relationships that you're in fear that people will judge it. Well, maybe that person did redeem themselves and they've changed, right? They're not maybe, oh, I dated her in my 20s and she came back around in the 40s, and she, you know, person grew up, person matured. So would you be able to defend that person's character? Did they change? So it's kind of like, you know, you gotta be careful with what you're taking back in. That's kind of like the reason, season, lifetime relationships. Some lifetime relationships, people can mess it up, right? They could be that you could have been together romantically in a business venture, and maybe they just went off and did something else or became addicted to something, and could become a reason, right? So sometimes it's good to know, like, was this chapter still meant to be closed, right? Or am I supposed to still open up this chapter again? So in conclusion, you want to have the opportunity to make peace with the past so you can focus on the now and learn from your mistakes, forgiving yourself and others, but then also knowing, like, could this be a relationship that was supposed to be closed for a reason? Is this seasonal? I'm just going to see this person. I have nostalgia. I remember how much fun we had as a kid. Go visiting town, just having a good time, having a good reunion. But maybe, you know, knowing what is right, you know, with this nostalgia. Is this person good? Did they change? Is it okay to open this door? Do you still have things in common with each other? And acknowledging that life is always continuously evolving. So we don't want to get stuck in some, oh, I wish it could have been the way it was when I was a kid. Man, you know, sometimes we gotta just let that go, right? Let go of the past and try to bring the attention firmly to the present, but with a playful manner. Like, you know, sometimes we really do deserve to have, you know, a renewal, fun, even if visiting the past memories could have some vibrancy in it. But, you know, having the true aspect of this is seeing it in innocence, joy, happiness, having fun, maybe with past, present, and you know, future relationships that are, you know, could be also coming up, that something good will come up where you will create memories to have nostalgia and joy in. So it could be telling you, hey, you're coming into something like that, you know. So I hope this helped. I missed you all. I'll try my best to keep going here. Please like, comment, or subscribe so you can help the channel since I've been gone, and to see what else I'll bring to you all. And I'm so happy to be back to help you, and I hope this reading helps you in the present. Thank you.